What's up, Liverpool fans? Welcome back to Yanks of the Cop. We are here, new feeling after 3 points taken today. Liverpool 2, Sheffield United 0. As always, we're your hosts, Steve, Skins, and Wahomie. Fellas, feels good to be here after 3 points. What did you guys think of today's performance?
I want to hear what Wahomie has to say first because he was pretty pessimistic in our most recent recording. So,
yeah, obviously when I saw the lineup, I was a bit disappointed because I thought, I wasn't sure where the goals were going to come from today. If Jota wasn't going to be able to come off the bench, and I thought obviously I wasn't also sure about the formation because I thought, I think we discussed before that it wasn't like in the 4-4-3 against low blocks. But yeah, obviously, to come away with the 3 points today is huge, especially with how the weekend results go, with Chelsea dropping points, West Ham losing to City, Leicester losing to Arsenal, which is a surprise. So, shift Sophie. So it's it was really good. It was really good to get the 3 points and a clean sheet. I think, overall, very happy with the 3 points, and I think obviously the first half was very frustrating. It felt like a sum up of our season, like poor finishing, decision making in the final moments. And then I thought Sheffield United didn't really do much in the first half in terms of hurting us. I think they gave more of a go in the second half, and I think we saw where a better forward punishes us, because I think they had at least 3 chances where they got in behind us or should have done better. And I think that's my one concern going to the Chelsea game is that Giroud, Pulisic, they punish us for those chances. They don't allow K-back to come back in and make those tackles, and they punish Phillips for not knowing where his marker was and allow him to go with that free header. He should have scored. But overall, we're back and top 4 races back on. So it feels good. Feels good to have a clean sheet as well. Been so long.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Phillips was phenomenal. I think that he did have that one spell, that one passage of play where he switched off for a quick second, but I thought he was fantastic overall. And there was a reason why Sheffield United started to attack Kabak more so than they did Phillips, is because Phillips was much better in the air. Kabak lost out to McBurney constantly. So I agree with you. That's a big worry going into Chelsea. So I don't know how close Fabinho is to coming back or what, but Kabak against Giroud is going to be an issue. But focusing on this game, the first half, I actually thought that we showed a lot of intent. I thought we looked fantastic going forward. Yeah, we missed some chances, but we were creating chances, which is something that we hadn't seen in a long time. So no, I mean, Firmino should have scored that. Yeah, he shouldn't have passed. Yeah. Jones should have scored. Yeah, exactly. Negative. Yeah, exactly.
Covering all bases. Mm-hmm. I'm being honest and saying, calling it what it is, calling a spade a spade. As good as the problem as it was, and a different day we get punished. So that's just being honest.
Yeah, and I thought the big takeaway for this game was that Gini, Thiago, and Jones were actually taking some risks. This is something that we've been talking about for the past month, it seems, like maybe even 2 months. But Gini oftentimes realized he wanted to slow the ball down or look around and look for a pass, but then he realized that he had so much space that he would just take the space. And that was so good to see for God's how long. I don't know how long we've waited for that, but it finally happened. So, I mean, he had a great shot on target. Bobby should have finished it. Jones had some chances, and then he finally got his goal. But I'm glad Firmino got in the score sheet. Although actually, I don't think he officially. Yeah, it was an own goal. Yeah, but that'll be wonders for his confidence that it went in the back of the net, I think.
Yeah, Chris Welch, right there with you, buddy. Breaking news. We need to get this trending. We actually won a game. We actually scored a goal. We move on. None of this win-lose nonsense. Seem to be winning, now until the end of the season. And yeah, you're absolutely right. I think this was a much needed 3 points for us, and I think especially going into Chelsea, next on Thursday, that's going to be a massive game for us now. Only 1 point behind them, with Leicester dropping, like you said, Wahomie, a lot of positive results for us now. Hopefully, if Everton can lose tomorrow to Southampton, then we'll be looking really good. What I will say is, I agree with Andrew. I thought Thiago, Gini, and Jones, that midfield three worked their tails off today. I thought they all played really well. Tiago and not Tiago, Genie and Jones specifically. I thought they both played great games. I think I even messaged you guys that I thought Genie was having a fantastic game. He was everywhere.
Yeah.
He still kind of dribbles in the space too much instead of passing in the space, but I thought there was times today where that was needed. And obviously Jones, that was great. But on Bobby's goal, own goal, that was a great movement by him, though. We haven't seen him kind of move through guys like that in a long time. So I was thrilled to see that. But I think the biggest thing for me was, like you said, Wahomie, like we got the 3 points, but we play a better team. McBurney scores that goal. And I don't know if we get that lucky deflection goal all the time either. Like we need to get more clinical, especially in the first half. We had plenty of chances to get some goals. And again, especially that big one from Firmino. I mean, no excuses there. He had to get that in the net.
Well, I just think we have to just be put perspective in place. We're playing the worst team in the Premiership, So as good as, obviously, yeah, we played better. As good as the midfield played today, they weren't pressed. They were under no pressure for that long game.
They beat United though, didn't they?
Yeah, but Man United are hot and cold though, so we can't base it on what they did in Man United. The fact of the matter is, for us, we obviously when we beat West Ham, we all thought we were back, and we put in performances after that. So it's the bottom club, the bottom team in the Premiership, the worst team in the Premiership. So we don't have to put perspective. As good as they were at present in that game, they weren't pressed. There wasn't any pressure. Sheffield United dropped off us, and they were just playing defensive. And obviously, yeah, we did well to carve them open and get the chances, but we're not going to get this kind of chances against Chelsea in that way.
Yeah, and there was that 10-minute period today with Homie in the second half where when we were all messaging, you even said like that 10-minute spell against any good team, and they punish us for it. And I think Zama here is a good point. I'm still worrying about how easy it is to burst past our center backs with minimum speed. Like that happened. They got 2 or 3 really quality chances from just turning on Kabak. So what did you guys think of Kabak and Phillips' performance as a partnership? Because it's becoming evident to me that they need more vocal leadership to kind of get everybody in the correct position all the time. Because Kabak was caught a couple of times out of position.
I personally feel obviously they're going to need time. It's obviously a brand new partnership. I think it'll be them against Chelsea. I don't think Fabinho's will be thrown into that straight away, and I think it'd be a risk to just throw Fabinho back into that game. And I think it's going to be them. I think it's one of those things they need consistent games, especially obviously the fact that Kabak's still only 20, so we'll say that, and then obviously it's a new partnership with him and Phillips. And obviously, neither of them are really vocal. I know they say Kabak's supposed to be a leader. That's what Ralph, what do you call him? The guy who used to be at Huddersfield was claiming that he's supposed to be a leader to Klopp.
I don't know.
No, Klopp's best mate, the other manager, used to manage at Huddersfield.
Oh yeah,
Warner or something like that.
Yeah. He apparently his reference about Kabak is supposed to be he's going to be a leader one day. I don't see that personally. So far, I don't see Kabak being vocal or providing that. And obviously with the situation it is now with Adrian in goal, he's not obviously again the most vocal. So there is obviously that lack of leadership in that back three, up from the 3 of them. But I think a lot more work needs to be done on the training field this week, going what they can do to get them a bit more synchronized, and also for them to know, like for Kabak to know, look, stop ball watching. Actually, have more mind of where the runner is, because if you focus where the runner is, you're going to stop the runs. If you just focus where the ball's going, by the time you then decide to turn around, it's too late. And obviously, he's able to make this last of his challenges because McDermott, whatever his name is, rubbish going forward. And McBurney is rubbish going forward. And also in the first half, I think Kabak got a bit lucky with some of the offside decisions. They were offside, but it was just, again, it's just like, I just feel like I think a lot more work needs to be done that we can do in training to get them more understanding. But I think I am a bit concerned the fact that Kabak's got no pace. Because we were told that he had pace. And
he has
I
no
find just find it weird how just a simple ball down the flank and they get behind him so easily. And I don't think but Sheffield United's forward lines are that fast. So it's not like they've got electric pace. So that is a bit concerning for me going into the next game. If Chelsea play like a Pulisic or one of them who's got burning pace, I think that'd be a concern for me in that game. Or Hudson Oju. So I think just a lot more work needs to be done if with them to get the synchronization better.
I'm more concerned about. I mean, if we're going to go to the Chelsea game real quick, I'm more concerned about Giroud against those two guys than I am about Adoy and Pulisic. I mean, I think they're decent enough defending on the dribble, but in the air against a strong Giroud, who's much better in the air than Ollie McBurney is, has much better touch than Ollie McBurney does, and always has this talent of finding his way to the ball. I think is going to be a massive, massive issue. So for me, it's just, I think that Kabak needs to just look at film all week, understand that people are going to be attacking him once they've seen this game and his past games. A simple ball over the top, it causes him some serious, serious trouble, and he's always about to put it in a last-ditch effort. A striker up top with a better touch and that last-ditch effort, it's a penalty. So, I mean, he needs. I agree. Training needs to be in the cards this week for Kabak.
What's surprising is he's supposed to be this aerial dominant beast in the air. That's what they said. Well, we haven't seen that really, so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Zama here, he's
really much more physical, so that makes sense.
Zama thinks it's more of a lack of quality than it is for leadership. So, I mean, are you guys starting to get concerned that you've seen it too often now with him?
I mean, he's young. He's young. He's 19, 20 years old. So, I mean, he's being thrown into a struggling Liverpool side in the Premier League, against, it's a very physical league compared to the Bundesliga. So, I mean, I sympathize with him, obviously, but we've only heard nothing but good things about this kid, and it's a little disappointing, to be honest. Yeah, I thought he'd have a little more talent right now, but clearly he has some maturing to do.
Yeah, I think that's that. I mean, obviously, like I said, he's 20, but I think there's just concerns. There's certain concerns there because I still feel like I think there's only one ball he did in the first half where he put us through like a long ball over the top in the first half, and I think. When Robbo nearly went through and it's just a poor touch, and the keeper came out and stopped it. But we were also told that he's supposed to have decent long-range passing. We've not really seen that as much as well. So maybe he's still playing within himself and still getting used to it. But he needs to definitely, if he wants to become a top centre back, he needs to iron out those long
his long balls. He hit 30% of his long balls. He was 4 for 12.
Yeah, so I think he needs to iron out some of the deficiencies if he wants to be. Otherwise, he'll end up being like a Lovren, who also was suspect to balls over the top kind of thing and getting done. So he needs to iron out if he wants to be a top centre back. But he's still got time. He's 20. But it's just, as you're saying, he's been thrown into this and he's going to have to learn quickly because there's not going to be much time for training, realistically, and he's going to have to learn quickly or how to adjust to it. And now with Chelsea, it's going to be a bigger game. And that's going to be like a baptism of fire because Giroud's a big match player.
Shifting gears a little bit, what did you guys think of the lineup and especially the reserves and who wasn't there? I mean, we all expected to see Jota in there. He was not. No Tsimikas, no Davis, and obviously no Allison, but then also no Kelleher. So looks like Jota might be appendicitis is the rumor on the street. Has that been confirmed yet by anybody?
I don't think so.
No, that came from Spy and Cop. So he started the rumor.
Okay.
But then Joyce just said it's an illness, so we don't know.
So what, Tsimikas and Davies just locked together in Klopp's basement now? Are they the new duo that's down there? Because
Davies had a late fitness issue or something like that. I saw somebody in the know type that out, but. Yeah,
that's true. I can't remember her name, but someone from the Athletic, one of the ladies from the Athletic typed that. Tsimikas, no one knows what he's just in the basement. Like he's been punished. Yeah, because when he doesn't come out, he has his hair all messy. He looks like he just came from the basement. So,
I know. Is there any chance for Fabinho to start? I mean, has he been trained at all?
I haven't heard anything.
I don't think he's trained yet, right?
No,
I don't think so. No.
Yeah, then there's no chance. I mean, we play on Thursday. I don't see that happening.
Yeah, unless he trains tomorrow, I don't think it's going to be very likely. And that's like you said.
I wouldn't start him even if he does train. I think we end up rushing our players back too quickly and it doesn't work. We did it against City where we threw Mane, Fabinho. Who was else injured? Was it? I can't remember who else was injured. We threw 3 players back injured. Alisson, I think it was, and none of them looked good. So I think it's a risk when you just throw them in. You need to give them time. I think he has to go with K-Back and Phillips.
For real, we are cursed.
Seriously, there's definitely like a black cloud surrounding this Liverpool team this year, especially with all the injuries on the field, everything that's happening off the field. Like we all cashed in all of our prayers and everything that we said that we would do in order for Liverpool to win the Premier League, and now it's all coming back on us this year.
What do you guys think about this from JG? He said we can't start that slow against Chelsea either.
I think he's right. I mean, there's been way too many times, especially this season, where we've had plenty of good opportunities in the first 15, 20 minutes to really set the standard for the game. And we haven't made the most of our chances. And it's come back to bite us numerous times already. And now we're at crunch time in the season where literally 3 points against Chelsea, and we kind of control our own destiny to a standpoint. Obviously, we still have to play, we still have to worry about West Ham and Everton. But ultimately, I think if we come away with 3 points against Chelsea, there's no reason why we can't make this, a top 4 push really, really strong.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think we have to become more clinical still. The game should have been outside 3-0 in the first half, and we're going to half time saying this game's over. Because obviously you're not going to get that many chances in most games, especially when you play a better team. I saw bits of the Chelsea United game today. There wasn't that many chances, so it wasn't as if there was a whole lot of chances on both sides. So you got in those games, you got to be clinical and take the chances. But I think the positive thing maybe here is maybe the fact that that's a turning point for Bobby. I know it's a deflected goal and he ain't going to get it, but the relief from him from doing that, you could see it. Even Salah looked a huge relief when he scored his goal. And maybe that's a positive. Yeah, maybe that's a positive going forward. That I think obviously maybe the pressure of not scoring regularly for the players, for the forward line, is getting to them. And I think hopefully that's going to do better. The fact that in the next game, because a monkey comes off the back, that they're much more clinical in the forward line. And I think Klopp did a slight change to that. I think he played Jones much more further forward because Jones is much more in the box. And I want to see that. Yeah, I want to see that more often. Let Jones get in the box. You can see he scores goals. He's creative. Let him go in the box more and take shots on. Take that risk because I think it was said you saw the benefits of having a midfield runner in the box. Someone who's going to get in there. And we look much more better. So I feel that I want to do that against Chelsea. Let Jones get in the box. Don't put him back as you have done in the free and just have him deep. Let's say Jones get in the box, take shots, score goals.
I mean, look at what Zama said. He said it's more chance taking the tempo of the game. I mean, I agree. I do think, though, that we and JG kind of said the same. He said low tempo and playing cautious early is what makes us lack chances. That's what it is for me. I think today, though, we did show that intent earlier on. I mean, there were chances early. Yeah, if we took those, and the game's pretty much done with in the first 20-25 minutes. But obviously, it was more of a game than that. But I'm very curious to see what you guys think about Firmino today. I mean, he missed those 2 chances, and everybody was on his back about that on Twitter. But I thought he had a damn good game. I thought he was playing deeper. He was almost more like a 10, and he was still getting into the box a little bit, but his passing was on today. He was finding the seams for Salah, for Mane, for Jones. He was really linking up play really well, I thought, and I thought his movement was phenomenal. But it seemed like he was picking the ball up much deeper than he normally would, and Mane was almost playing in that central role up top. I mean, what'd you guys think about that?
Yeah, I completely agree. I thought it was everything but the goal for Bobby today. His connection with the rest of the team was good. His movement was great, like you said. I mean, I think again, he's just been going like what homie said. You just saw the relief on his face when he scored that goal and how excited he was. That's the only aspect of the game that he has no confidence in right now. But otherwise, he actually hasn't been playing too bad outside of the goals. So I think he was good. I think it was good.
Yeah, Kiri, man, That was in reference to you, my friend. Go ahead, homie.
Huh?
I said, go ahead.
Oh no. Yeah, I thought he was much better today in terms of his link-up play and his creativity. I think the one thing obviously that had concern in the first half was decision making. I felt like he should have shot instead of passing, and I thought obviously in that first half he should have scored that 1-1 1-1. Obviously what alarmed me was obviously that 1-1. I didn't feel at any point when he went through 1-1 that he was going to score. And I think he didn't look like he was going to score. So,
but that's the thing, though. That's the thing, though. Yes, when he gets into the box, his confidence is done. It drops to pretty much nothing. But when he is, in that 10 role and linking up play, I think it's to the moon. Like that pass that he did, that like volley of a pass out of the air to Salah, and Salah was away, was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And not many players could do that over the top like that. So I agree with you. When he gets in the box, he's very poor, at least at the moment. But every other aspect of his game, I think, is still top drawer.
Yeah, well, I think going forward, he needs to be moved to a 10. And move out the front line, because I don't think he should be in the forward line going forward anymore. When Jota comes back, I think he's harming us. He's hurting us. In today, we got away with it, but I think in certain games, there's always that fear of like our best chance always fall to Bobby. A lot of times,
that's tough.
And they never seem to fall to Salah or Mane. It's always Bobby, and he never takes them. And it's like, oh, Bobby, but we have to remember as well, Bobby's never been a finisher. He's always been a 10 that creates chances, that gets the goals on odd occasion. So, obviously now, because his age is getting on, that power he's waning, and he's not doing the stuff he used to do when he first came in 17, 18, when he was linking up play, holding up the ball and being totally dominant to players. But yeah, I think hopefully, I know we said it before, but hopefully this is a turning point for him. That now he kicks on and he goes back to Bobby Firmino of getting big goals, and starts playing with more confidence. So I'd hope for Chelsea again that we play him in the 10 again. I mean, we play Mane or Salah for the middle.
Yeah, I mean, I think Zama has a good point here. He loved how fluid Mane and Salah were, and I think that all is because of Firmino and his movement. I thought he really allowed them, especially in the second half, to be more involved. But I think this point for me, and I made this point to you guys as well, I thought, Trent has been literally the primary ball handler for us. It did seem like it was like 3 in the back at times. But the biggest thing for me is I've been dying for Trent to get way more forwards and then get to the end line. And, of course, today, the one time he gets all the way to the end line, we get a goal. Like, that's a much more dangerous position to be hitting the ball in instead of, 15, 20 yards outside of the box. Like, if you can keep getting in those positions, in Robertson too, with those overlaps, that's where they want to be receiving the ball, down close to that end line. That's where we're going to be dangerous and get better opportunities.
But I think we haven't done that because they don't trust the defense. And that's why they haven't done it. Because there's been a fear of if we get too forward, they don't trust the defense to be able to cover it. That's why they've had to get the ball from deeper. Today, obviously, because the opposition were playing, they were able to get that. Because, Trent, there wasn't any fast wing that was going to expose Trent or Robert today down the flank. So they could get forward as much as they wanted. And I thought, I did like the fact that how we did have Trent deeper and Robert higher. And then we went to like a back 3, and then obviously in the second half we switched Robbo back to a back 4, and didn't really push him as high. So it showed options there. I think maybe we need to continue that inventiveness in games going forward with Klopp.
Yeah, but I think it opens up all that space though, as well as the movement of the midfield today. Like Gini Wijnaldum getting forward occasionally, Thiago getting, Thiago actually didn't get it forward as much, but Curtis Jones popping up in the box, Firmino dropping in, just that constant movement in the middle of the park is what keeps the defense honest, and that allows further space for Trent, for Robertson on the overlap. And we finally saw it today. We finally saw Robertson. He whipped in a ball. I think it was in the second half to Salah, and Salah probably should have put it in. He was angry with himself, but we haven't seen that in 3 or 4 games. Robertson getting to the end line, Trent getting to the end line, and we're finally creating some chances. So I think it's definitely on the fact that we, they don't trust the defense as much without Virgil or Gomez or anybody else back there. But I think it also comes down to the midfield finally taking some chances.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't remember the midfield moving as much as they did today, like in a long time. Like we talked about it a lot on this show, how like it just seemed like all three of them were in the same position all the time on the field and not really going anywhere. Now they were interchanging, they were going all over the place. It was great, and especially too when Naby came on for that last 10 minutes. By the way, 10 minutes was perfect. That's kind of like ideal for him, But I thought when he came in too, like it didn't miss a beat. If anything, it was even better with the movement. So that takes, we talked a lot about a spark, like what we saw from the midfield today. If we can do that against Chelsea, especially against their midfield, who's pretty talented, okay, then we can get something going here.
I don't think it's going to be the same midfield. I think Milner starts that. Klopp's going to go defensively. He'll play Milner for that one.
For Chelsea?
Yeah.
Ooh, I think he goes to the same midfield. He's gone with it like 3 times now.
Yeah, but that's because we played opposition, the low opposition. Milner wasn't fit then; he was injured. He goes for a big game without Henderson. Then Milner, he'll put Milner in.
I don't know. We'll see.
Fabinho in the midfield.
I
doubt back for it, but
yeah, but I do reckon Milner will be enough for that one.
I think he has to keep the way it is. I think that Jones clearly has earned his spot. You got a goal. He's been playing really well the past 5 games. You can't take Thiago out, really. I mean, maybe he's the only one you'd really take out. He's not going to take Gini out. No way. Not in this game. I think Thiago is the only one who's up in the air, but I can't see Milner getting a start in that game.
Let's hope Chris Wells. Hope he's back there. But Zama has another good point here. He doesn't think the midfield's great at tracking runners. What do you guys think about that point?
Because we don't have a proper 6. That's why. I mean, when you have a proper 6 in there, Fabinho or Henderson, they track the runners. But Thiago is not defensively responsible. He doesn't have a lick of defensive quality really in his blood, I don't think. And Gini is more of an 8, I think, as well. So I mean, they're just playing out of position.
I agree with that.
It's not Thiago's game to be. That's not his game to be having to play a defensive 6 role and have to track runners and stuff. Not his game. Now, though he's very good in terms of defensive stats, that's not his game. And he's having to do that purely because of injuries. Gini as well. Gini's good at maintaining possession as a 6, but he's not good at tracking runners and breaking up play in that sense. So, but he's doing it obviously because he's having to play there. So
yeah,
of course, we're not going to be as defensively solid from midfield in terms of protecting the back 4, as you would if you had a Henderson or
Fabinho,
or even I think even sometimes Keita, even though he's not fit. I think Keita is very good at tackling and win the ball back. So unless you've got one of them in there or Milner, who's going to come in and do challenges and win the ball back, the others aren't going to do that. So of course, if you're going to play them free, we are going to look a bit sometimes suspect in terms of tracking runners. But I think we have no choice until the other ones come back in.
What do you guys think of this? JG just asked, think he didn't play Fabinho to hold him out for Chelsea. I mean, going off what Chris Welch said, that the Klopp claims that Jota and Fabinho would be ready for Thursday. Was
that after before the game, though, what he said that?
I'm not sure.
I don't know, Chris, going back to your comment, did Klopp say this after the game or before the game? If you're still listening.
Yeah.
I will say that I think tomorrow is going to decide a lot. Like I think if Fabinho is back in training tomorrow, then he'll play. Because I think it'd be tough to only get a training or 2 win before a big game like Chelsea to just step in and not miss a beat. So I think if he's able to train tomorrow, I think it's a good sign.
Yeah, but I think Zama made another good point. He's been on fire today. I think Mount needs to be tracked. I think that'll come down to Gini. Gini will be forced to track Mason Mount. I don't think Thiago can keep up with them, and maybe Jones could put a good measure on him, but I don't think Milner could either. I think it all comes down to Gini to track Mount. He's the Chelsea's best player. Everything goes through him for the most part. So I I think he's the one to watch. So it's going to be a big game for Genie as well. So if we can get Fabinho in there,
I don't think he'll play for Fabinho midfield the rest of the season.
I just mean in the game.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, I wish he would, but
yeah, because I would personally, if we're going to put Firmino back in, I'd put him back in midfield. And I'd leave K-Back and Phillips at centre back, because I think Fabinho in front of them offers a much more offer them protection they need. And then it'll free up Ginny, Jones, and Thiago to play further forward, which one you're playing. But I'd
rather be more secure in the back. I would put, if Fabinho is ready to go, I would put him in center back for Kabak. I would.
I think Sophie disagrees with you.
That's fine.
He just needs to be on the field. He just needs to be on the field. I mean, if you put him at center back, then that's great for the Giroud cover. And you put him at center, the sixth spot. That's going to help with the Mason Mount problem. So I don't think you can miss it. I think either way would be fine. I think Junior Wijnaldum is more incapable of tracking Mount if he has to.
What was his injury again? Was it ankle or hamstring or what was it? Quad? Calf?
Mount?
No, Fabinho. I forget what it was.
I'm not sure. I didn't even see it, to be honest.
I forget what it was. But
yeah, but it'll be interesting to see. That's for sure. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, that game was going to decide a lot for me, just because I'm still not like this game was expected. This game should be an expected 3 points to get. So
yeah,
and we've talked about it too many times. Or I think it was Jay Gee, or Chris Welsh that said it earlier. It's like, with too many, like, we get a win, we start riding high, and then the next week we can't keep it going. So this is the key game now. This is the new biggest game of the year, whatever you want to say. Like, we need to go out and get 3 points and continue this form. If we go out and beat Chelsea, then we definitely have a shot.
Oh,
I think if we go and beat Chelsea, top 4 is guaranteed.
Woo! I think it's going to be a battle. I think. Yeah, today it was 0-0, but I think United really lacked quality today. I think that if we are – what?
No, I was going to say, I don't think we're going to catch United. I think they're
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I think that Chelsea's defense is susceptible to attack like Liverpool's. And if we can be as fluid as we were today, then I think Reece James is susceptible at right back, defensively at least. I think that Ben Chilwell or Marcus Alonso is definitely vulnerable at left back, and even their center back. I mean, Rudiger. I mean, he's good, but I don't think he's he definitely has some errors in him. And Thiago Silva, if he's playing, although he didn't play today, it was Andreas Christensen. But I mean, I'm not afraid of Chelsea at all. I mean, I think they play right into our hands.
What I saw the United game, I did see that they struggled with Chelsea's defense struggled with the pace of Greenwood and Rashford. The Man United had to fight quite a few counter attacks, but their decision making was awful today. So Chelsea got a little bit lucky when defending their counters. But yeah, I think your point there, because there's no point in beating Sheffield United today and then drawing or losing Chelsea on Thursday.
Very true.
Defeats no purpose, and that's been our Achilles heel throughout this season. So we have to go into that game knowing that we are a better team than Chelsea. And yes, we've got the injuries and stuff plays out, but still, we are still a very good team when we play well. Except for bar the same minutes the Leicester game, we were we were a better team than Leicester. We outplayed them. So we can play the way we did against Leicester and control the game, dominate them, and make sure that Chelsea don't get chances to Giroud. Then we should punish Chelsea realistically, because my one concern, obviously, Chelsea is although he's not been in great form, is Pulisic, because he hasn't got it in him to turn in a hazard-like performance.
He didn't start today, though.
He didn't, but I don't think they're playing him. But I just remember that game when we won 5-3. He came on and changed the game with his pace, and that's the one thing. Like, I'm obviously he's not in good form right now, but he has got it in him to come on and do like a hazard kind of performance and just flip the game on its head. So, but we have to be for that game. We have to be clinical, and we have to be mindful of the fact it's probably Aiden going to be in goal again. And I think Aiden played well today. Like,
he did.
He did anything wrong today.
Well.
Yeah, he played well. He made some good, clear punches away on corners and free kicks. And he didn't do anything crazy. Like, he didn't try to do anything fancy with the ball with his feet. He just kicked the ball downfield.
No, he did try. He did juggle with the ball in the 18 towards the end of the game. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Oh, I think I missed that bit.
I was like, "What are you doing, buddy? You're not that good."
Trying to compliment Adrian's like pulling teeth. It's like, oh yeah, he played pretty good. His punches were good, and I think JG makes some good points. I think Chelsea and the Red Bull game are make or break games. I think if we go out, like you said, we're home and put in good performances and get wins in both of those, go into the final 8 of the Champions League and jump ahead of Chelsea in the Premier League table. That's that spark. That's that thing that we've been talking about that we've been missing for a long time. And I think it was great that we only got to play Naby 10 minutes and Jota not at all and get 3 points today. Having those guys with another few days of training heading into that Chelsea match is going to be massive. I think it's going to be huge for us.
Yeah.
Just to have John. I just hope John's on the bench for Chelsea. If he doesn't start, just have him on the bench because I think that would be for us to have him on the bench.
Yeah. I think Zama's right. Like even if he's just involved in 12 games, I think we finish top 4. I completely agree. Just that game-changing pace off the bench.
Yeah, I think he also made the players on the pitch before don't have to raise the game because they know if I'm poor, Jota's coming in after raising my game, and we've seen earlier in the season that we can win without Salah, we can win without Bobby, and we can win without Mane in games. We've seen that already. So we aren't as reliant for all them free to play. So Jota can come in and replace any one of them. So that's we need that extra competition. And obviously, and having Naby on the bench now as well is with Milner back as well. That gives us a bit more rotation and freshness now. So that's that we haven't had before.
Yeah.
So that's going to be key as well. And the reason why I say if we beat Chelsea, we get top 4 is because I think Leicester are going to crumble now.
Yeah, that Hart Barnes injury is going to kill them too with all the other injuries they have.
Yeah. And plus, they played an Arsenal team that had all the best players on the bench. Most of the best players were starting on the bench. So, and they were beaten fair and square.
What was your tweet earlier? You said that they still have like City to play, United to play, Chelsea to play.
They got City to play still. They got United FA Cup, so it doesn't really count. But they've got Chelsea still to play. They've got West Ham still to play.
They have Everton too still.
Yeah, and I think we've got so they've got some hard games Leicester coming up. But
and they play in the Europa League on Thursdays. That's I think that's what did them in today.
So So they've still got hard games to go, and they're going to crumble in those games because it was injuries last year that did them in over. And
Harvey Barnes just got injured today.
Yeah, so Rodgers is known for bottling it. As much as he's a good manager, he's known for bottling it. Let's be real. So and it looks as if they're going to choke again because if they lose, I think they got Burnley next. If they don't beat Burnley, then the pressure's on them because that's another drop that they crumbled last time.
I think Madison was injured today too. He didn't play.
Injured,
their injury list is long too, man. Their injury list is long.
When he's out of the side, they're not nearly as formidable. So a concern for them.
So I think with the run-ins, I just look at the run-ins for West Ham as well. Their run-in is brutal. West Ham, with the games they've got remaining, so they're not going to win all this. They're going to drop a lot of points. West Ham.
Mm-hmm.
So even Chelsea's run-in is very difficult. The team they got. They still got City. They still got. I think Arsenal still to play again.
They play Everton in a few weeks, I think.
Yeah, I think they've still got Leicester to be able to play. So they've got some difficult games to Chelsea. They're not going to win. They're going to drop points in. So, and plus obviously they're still in the Champions League. That's also going to be a distraction for them to think, and then I think even like Everton, I don't think they've got a difficult running. On paper we've got the easiest running. This is obviously us making that count.
Right, exactly. And that's the biggest thing, right? But Zima, again, Pulisic and not Chelsea have outstanding tacklers. We need to defend better because Van Tuchel loaded up with speed. I kind of want to use this, though, just to ask you guys about what you guys thought of Trent's performance today, because I thought Trent, that was probably his better game. Take the player on the baseline away or the end line away. I thought he had another good game today, and it was good to see him put in that type of performance. He and Robertson had good days together for the first time, it seemed like, in a long time too.
Yeah, I think Trent was unlucky not to have 3 assists in this game. There was one that fell right to Curtis Jones. Obviously, that one that Curtis Jones put in the back of the net. So he did have one, but I thought he should have had a couple more. But he was fantastic. We were all pretty okay. So Chris Welch just said that Klopp said that after the match in the Sky interview. So that could be huge if Fabinho and Jota are available for that game. Here, why don't you guys talk? I'm gonna try to find that. I think I can pull it up.
Sweet.
Wow, that's huge. That's huge.
Again, I think I just really want to see Keita and Jota. That's maybe for like the next 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. Just be those guys off the bench for us and then hopefully, maybe in 2 weeks' time, maybe for the Leipzig match, we can get Jota into the starting 11, have him starting the number 9 role, because I think that's when things are going to start opening up for us. J-Doc, glad you were able to make it, man. We appreciate you.
Yeah, I think that's a game changer for us. If they're back for the Chelsea game, that's huge, because it gives us a whole different dimension, to be honest. And it just gives Chelsea more things to think about, because we've seen Fabinho, if he is playing centre back, which he probably will, mark up some of the best set strikers in the world football. So to have him there.
I'm going to try to pull this up.
And also Jota, the shot off the bench is huge if we need a goal.
Oh my God, yeah, that's that adrenaline. Shot of adrenaline.
Can you hear this?
Ever play well enough, to be honest, especially when you don't score. And you can imagine our situation. It's not that we sit in the dressing room and think, all good. We will score, but the plan was to keep going, do the same stuff again, and because Sheffield, in the moments when we played exactly how we wanted to play, they couldn't deal with us. Then we arrived pretty much alone in front of the goalie, but Ramsdale played an incredible game, had a few outstanding saves, Adrian as well, a very, very early one. So, and when you know that Sheffield United lost a lot of games in that year, of course, but all with the smallest margin you can get, and so it's clear that these games stay exciting until the end. And we first half we should have scored 3 times, I think. Then we scored 2 goals, and I think Robbo could have had a hat trick tonight, pretty much. So that just shows how we created was really good. And the finishing was then in the end good enough for today, but we know we can improve that still.
Were there improvements on what you've seen in the past few weeks?
I told you before this game, it's like I got it 100% that people, it's normal and right that we get criticized, but if it's just about the performance, that makes it so tricky. It makes it so tricky that we cannot fight like other teams, just standing deep, let them come. And
What'd you say?
No, I said, Sophie, do it. And try to have to set a counter-attack. That's not how we can get back on track. We have to keep being dominant, and we have to deal with the situation, with disappointments in a game, with frustration in a game, that you miss a chance in the first half. Where in other games, we maybe would have reacted differently. But tonight, we just stayed on track, kept playing, and scored in the right moment. That always helps.
What did you make of Curtis Jones' influence tonight? He scored one, had a hand in the second goal, and he does feel like a player that when he's in that midfield, he does add to your creativity and your goal threat.
Yeah. Top player, no doubt about that. That's why he's playing. So, and tonight, yes, it was very important. We had a lot of talks about he has to be more being involved in goal-scoring situations as well. That's clear. And there he has, like everywhere, space for improvement. So tonight he was involved. That's good.
I think I just saw you there having a look back at the Firmino goal. And I don't know if you know already that that's been taken off him. And how disappointing is that? Because he just maybe a player who needs a goal.
He had a goal. Who cares? For us it counts. For him it counts. If it's not in the stats, I don't care. That's not to change, and nothing I worry about tonight.
How important was that result, Jürgen? How much did you need it?
Very, very important. Very important because you can imagine, I think plenty of people have written us off, that's completely fine. It's about us to show that we are still there. Tonight we showed that, but on Thursday we play Chelsea and we have to show it again. But we are still, with all the problems we had, we are still around the exciting places, and that's where we want to be, and that's what we want to fight for.
That's a great commitment.
Do you feel a bit more in control of your situation after this weekend? Obviously, you won. Teams above you, apart from City, have all dropped points.
I have no problem. I never thought about controlling the situation or whatever. It's just you have to win football games. We know that, and the rest is controlled by himself, by itself, and that's what it's always like this. There's no way without results into the Champions League, and that's what we need. And tonight we got it, and now we keep on going.
You mentioned that Chelsea game. It's obviously a big one. Any more players? Any more that we back for that? Jota, Fabinho, for example.
Yeah, probably both. Diogo was with us in the hotel, but overnight he got sick. So he was in the squad today, but he got sick. I would think that he's ready for Thursday, but I don't know in a moment. Fabinho trained twice with the team. Yeah, should be at least closer, ready for the squad, I'm pretty sure.
There you go.
That's good.
Good.
That's awesome. No, I think it's good news. If we can get those two guys, that's awesome. But I made this point. I tweeted this out. J-Dog, every keeper just has a masterclass against Liverpool. And first half, no different. I mean, good for you, Aaron Ramsdale, putting in a good performance. But it seems like every single time, no matter who we play, we just see absolute class from the goalkeeper spot. So that's got to be frustrating as well for the players.
I think it's because we're the reigning champions.
What's that?
I think it's because we're the reigning champions, and everyone just wants to put a performance against us.
Got the target on the back, that's for sure. You guys want to close out with our man of the match?
I'm going to go with Jones. I think he was outstanding. So I'm going to go with Jones. I think he's outstanding. His goal was crucial. His overall play was very, very good. He was taking on players. He looked the most threatening in terms of the one he was. He also had that chance where the ball hit off his knee. He was unlucky earlier on, and he just looked threatening the whole time. And I just loved seeing this more forward Jones and allowing like Klopp giving the freedom to get in the box, because I think he could score more goals for us. Start aiming at getting if we played forward, Jones more forward, he could at least get 6 or 7 more goals before the end of the season, because he's got in his locker. So I think Klopp should just allow him to have that, because it's the best way forward now for us to get more goals and actually win more games. So I think Jones will stand today.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go with someone a little different. I thought Trent was phenomenal today. I thought it was one of his best games in a while. He just looked on it. He looked ready. He was constantly switching the play. He was constantly finding the midfield, and he was constantly finding Salah, Firmino, or Mane. So I mean, when it seems that when Trent plays well, Liverpool play well. It's kind of like the Firmino effect as well. But Trent for me, man of the match.
Sophie, Allison with the shout. Numerous times in the broadcast, they called him that. It was pretty hilarious. And also Chris Welch, you're 100% right. Kai deserves a shout because he didn't get injured in the 10 minutes. So huge. Absolutely agree. That's pretty. That's great. He could have gotten hurt from the walk into the tunnel though, so we don't know that. We gotta get that confirmation. But no, for me, I'm gonna go Gini Wijnaldum for my man of the match. A lot of talk about him wearing the captain's armband today going into the match, but you know what? He put in a captain's performance. I thought today. I thought he was great. I thought he controlled the game really well. Yeah, he did dribble sometimes when he could have passed probably, but I thought at times we needed that. And I thought, the whole midfield I thought played a great game today. But Gini Wijnaldum for me, man of the match, and that's for you, Sophie, because I know you love him so much. But anyway, I think that just about wraps up this episode of Yanks of the Cop. This was a fun one, chat. You guys were on fire, so we appreciate you guys. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. Seriously, if you've been watching this long, we appreciate you guys. Helps more Liverpool fans see this channel. So we'll be back later this week with some awesome episodes for you guys. But until then, much needed 3 points. I'm glad that we're all so happy and all so much positivity today in the podcast. I absolutely loved it. Everyone out there, we appreciate you guys. Up the Reds. We'll see you next time.
Up the Reds.